All right, so welcome everybody to Beyond the Cloud for what day is it? It is July. Holy crap, we're at the end of July already?
One
Where
more
has
week.
the summer gone?
One more week.
Wow. All right, well, welcome. Obviously, the time's going by real quick. I think that's, the dangers of our profession these days, for sure. Yeah. Okay, and I haven't been swimming as much as I should have been this year either.
You were supposed to
I,
swim
mi-
all last weekend.
I know. I know. And Meredith she's checking up on me too. She's keeping me accountable. So, yes. Anyway, okay. So I don't have a question today. I know Coke or Pepsi. This is the first thing that popped into my head. I don't.
What did you say?
I mean, that's
Coke or Pepsi.
that's there's some age-old arguments. What came first, the chicken or the egg, or are you a Coke or Pepsi person? So I'll go first. Tanya Hills Cloud Business Services, recently branded from Cloud Bookkeeping Services and Tanya's Bookkeepers Bootcamp, and I am a Pepsi person all the way. So that's it. So anyway, Bianca, you can go next.
My name is Bianca and I'm with Books by Bianca and I'm located in Burnaby, BC. And I love Pepsi, Diet Pepsi to be specific.
Yay, 2 points for Pepsi. My uncle works for Coke, so he gets really, really upset whenever, and I think that's probably why I started with Pepsi, because I would show up just to piss him off. Oh, like Pepsi. Mind you, that said, I do like the Coke products. They're Nestea iced tea. That's the only iced tea I'll drink. All right, Carol, you're next.
Carol Kostachuk, Carolyn Call Office Assistance here in sunny Maple Ridge. And I am a neither because I don't drink pop.
Good for you.
That's smart. Yay.
Well, I used to drink Coke, but it had to be a rum and Coke. So when I quit drinking, I kind of quit pop.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll have a ginger ale once in a while, or a ginger ale with cranberry juice in it, or if I go out for a meal, I'll have a cranberry juice with a splash of soda, but that's the extent of my pop
And
intake.
that's better. Every year I quit pop, and then tax season hits because I don't drink coffee.
You know how we don't do pop in our household with kids is I buy just soda water, cans of soda water, and you can get those like Mio or like little squirt refresher things. You can get them with stevia sweetened and stuff, so they're a little bit healthier, and the kids will drink those like nonstop. It's great.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And I try to carry what I actually really like, and is real lemon is what it's called. And it's actually, so I'm more of a citrus person, and I really don't like the taste of the stevia. I find that, the artificial sweetener overpowers it, but I don't mind, I love unsweetened, like when I make my smoothies, which I try to have like a great big one every day. Like, I don't know, you guys can't see it. It's huge. This is like, I don't know, 6 to 8 cups or whatever. It's literally just mixed strawberries, raspberries, and water. I don't add anything else into it. I don't add any sweeteners. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of yogurt in there just to give it a little bit of protein. But that's it. So I don't mind that. So the real lemon actually has orange, lemon, and lime flavors. And you can actually buy them in either little packages that you can like just carry in your purse and open and pop in, kind of like the Crystal Light used to be, or they actually have for around the house and at my desk, I actually keep them in shakers. They're like seasoning salt containers. So I just pour a little bit in to give me a little bit of the citrus, because I'd rather have the sour citrus taste, I think, than the stevia taste. But yeah. So I try to do that because then I don't crave the water or I don't crave the pop, but I usually end up with the Pepsi because, like I say, I don't drink coffee. So tax season, I always end up, I'm like, nope, I'm going to be good. I've quit. I haven't had a pop in like 8 months. And yeah, it's addictive. Anyway, Stacy.
So Coke so Stacy Stanley Young from Stanley Young Business Strategies. In the heart of Canada. Don't let Toronto tell you otherwise. Coke or Pepsi, I would go with club soda. But if I am forced to drink a cola of some sort, like if there's nothing else, regular Coke, but diet Pepsi.
Oh,
Totally
interesting.
But club soda all the way. And as for a sweet drink, we used to take a 4-liter container of milk, and when we finished it, we rinsed it out. We'd fill that up with water and put 1 packet of Crystal Light lemon. So it was lemon water, and it was that was a nice treat for us too. So
Little edge
yeah,
flavor.
Nice.
And say it's not water.
All right, Meredith.
Hi, everyone. I am Meredith Bissiker from Pacific Rock Accounting on Vancouver Island in Qualicum Beach. That's just north of Nanaimo, if you know the island at all. Couple of things. Number one, if you're watching this and you know of a developer, WordPress developer who can do a couple of little fixes for me, I think they're CSS fixes, please let me know. I'd love to work with someone, especially in Canada. So there's that. I am during the day a water drinker. Right now I have the Tazo Passion Tea, so it's not sweetened. So I make concentrate, pour it into water. We all drink it all day. And it's great because my little one's not drinking water right now. So that's good. I like lemon water, cucumber water, and I don't like pop, but I do like a good gin and soda, or a really good vodka soda, or gin and Feverfew Indian premium tonic. So there you go. If you ever want to send me tonic, Fever Tree, not Feverfew.
Totally. I'm with you 100%. I'm a gin and tonic girl too. And
Excellent.
I switched to diet tonic, which is really hard to find, and I don't like the aspartame, but I'd rather not have the sugar.
Then the Fever Tree Premium Indian is great. It's pricey, but it's great because it's 1% sugar. So because I don't like, I get migraine, the sugar gives me makes it even worse. So, and then also one of my clients is a vodka distiller, soon to be gin distiller. So I'll bring a bottle over when that's
Hello.
Don't bring me one.
Okay, all right. I'll bring you something else.
Meredith, I just popped something in on the chat as you were talking. I went,
Awesome.
I know somebody on the island. I don't know if she'll do what you do, or what you need, but she's a former colleague of my husband's, lovely lady.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Nice.
And so have you ever tried the Meredith cucumber and lemon in your water? I actually like cucumber and lemon together. It's a
and
nice
I did that last week. I've got so many cucumbers in my garden. All of a sudden I look and there's like massive amounts of cucumbers. So yeah, cucumber lemon water, so good. And then my 15-year-old teases me because I said to her, it's really detoxifying. So for a week I heard, it's really detoxifying. It's really detoxifying. So she's like, she's not grounded.
Yeah, well, that's and I was trying different flavors with the water because I've got you know an infuser. We've got like a great big jug with the infuser, but I like to let it sit a day to let the flavors really run through it. So we've actually got 2 that we go back and forth with. And so I like the lemon and the cucumber, I'm like really together. I like them separately, but it's really good together. Or even lemon and raspberry or lemon and strawberry.
Yeah, totally. All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. So good. And it's good for you.
And you freeze grapes to use as ice cubes because we have grapes growing and we don't know what to do with them. So we have frozen grapes taking up our whole freezer.
That make ice wine?
That's awesome idea.
So just to use as ice cubes in fruit juice and drinks. It's perfect.
Yeah. No, that's awesome idea. And the Tazo teas, they're really good. When I got myself off of the teas, because I do drink tea and I do put a fair amount of sugar in my tea, like just 2, but it's still really sweet. I'm like, I need to get a different flavor, especially when I've got my asthma acting up. I can't drink. I love my cold water. I love my cold drinks. I can't drink my cold drinks. So, but I love the Tazo teas, the mint and the orange, because I just let it, like, it's funny. Some people are like, no, just a little steep. And I'm like, no. I'll let it sit there and I'll drink it like after half an hour of steeping, because then you get the flavor, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't have to add any, like, you're right, I don't add anything to it either. I've not thought about doing that cold though.
Yeah, they're great cold. Just super. I put probably 2 cups of hot water with 2 bags of the passion. Probably the mint one would be really good with the cucumber. Like make the mint, cool it down, put it with the water. This has turned into a cooking show.
It has, yeah.
The cucumber. There you go.
Well, this is all really good things though. I mean, let's tie it into our profession. is if we're all working for, most of us still working from home on COVID, we've probably all, have experienced the COVID-15. So, better way to offset by all of these, healthier options. So there we go.
Mhm.
All right. So Kathy.
I'm Kathy Badger, CSB Creative Business Solutions in Edmonton, Alberta. And I'm going to see if it's going to work. Do you want to guess what I like?
Oh, that's so funny. You're waiting so patiently.
Oh, that's so fabulous.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, and you also get to see what my office looks like. But yeah, you want to guess
How cute.
which I'm into? But I don't drink pop anymore. My husband drinks Diet Coke, but I used to be a Coke drinker. But yeah, I drink water now.
Okay, so now for Christmas, Kathy, now seeing that and knowing that, I've never noticed that before. My uncle works in Calgary at the plant, and he has been there like 40 years. I just have to do a quick phone call to him and be like, what do you have that like nobody else can get? He can get his hands on anything in there.
Cool.
Yeah, so who knows? You might end up with like one of those Santa trays or something.
Yeah, I got, yeah, I mean, and you can only see part of my office from that way, but it's all the way around the whole room.
There's got to be something collector that he can get his hands on that's really
Mhm.
rare.
That would be cool.
So no more swag. It's very rare collectible Coke stuff then, right?
Yep.
Actually, well, the swag's usable, so maybe I'll alternate when I send you stuff. Awesome. Okay,
Is
so yeah,
everyone here a member of CPB Canada?
Of what?
Is everyone here a member of CPB Canada?
Kathy,
Formerly IPBC?
No, I'm working on it because I don't actually have my certification. I'm going to challenge the exam because I've got halfway through my CPA courses. But that's on my list of things to do in August is become a member because I like that I'd be connected, well, especially with the certification. I'm digressing a bit, but I like being connected or being held accountable, like people
Yeah.
knowing I'm held accountable to managing things ethically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It makes a separation between anybody that wants to be a bookkeeper and a certified professional bookkeeper.
Tanya and I were talking about this.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm just because I'm just it's fun because I'm going to be presenting at a conference, and so it's I've just sort
or
of
are
been
you?
compiling material and stuff. And I actually want to use a different webinar presentation format called Prezi instead of the traditional PowerPoint. And I just wanted to see if any of you have actually used Prezi before. Prezi.
No, not used for.
It's more of like a
I'm either
visual
PowerPoint or
storytelling.
like the Google.
It's more visual storytelling.
My
And-
daughter likes Prezi. That's what they're learning in school, and she's going through to be film. So she's in college, but that's what she taught on. Even in high school, I think they taught her on Prezi.
Cool. Okay.
So I've heard of it, and she loves it, and it seemed to be able to do, to do a little bit more, but I didn't really get into it too much with her.
So have they
Oh.
sold tickets for the conference yet? Because it was supposed to be over here in Victoria, right?
Yeah, so it's canceled.
Yeah.
It's all virtual, so you can register online.
Oh,
Yep.
excellent.
Can you? Yeah, it's open. Yeah, I have
Right.
everything.
I don't. Our tickets aren't up for sale yet, though. It's just register your interest.
Register
Yeah,
your interest.
I've done that.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
So there's been nothing new, because I'm of course on the board. So yeah, there's been nothing new come out since. We haven't, like even the board hasn't been told the price yet.
Okay.
So
So if I was on the wait list for the in-person one, I'll get a email.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
But they're
Yeah,
working on the agenda right now. Like they're putting together a schedule and everything behind the scenes. So it's all the balls are rolling.
and I'll tell you, it sounds really, really good. I know because we did talk about it a little, even though I'm not on the conference committee, we kind of like, it came up, I'm on the finance committee, and it kind of came up a little bit in the budget. So we went a little bit off, and I said, okay, let's take a look at maybe, some thoughts for, the platform that they were going to use, which does tie into the finance end of it. But I said to them, like, let's take a look at that, because we've had, how many virtual conferences have we had so far? Intuit had a virtual conference that I was at.
Sage did.
The accounting salon was virtual. I think Sage even had a
Yeah,
virtual.
we just did Sage Forum.
Yeah, so I haven't been at the Sage one, but the accounting salon was basically a bunch of back-to-back webinars. into it. They tried to get some, they did a really good job,
Yeah, it was
but they tried to get some, but I still heard some feedback from some of the vendors that you couldn't speak face to face. Even in some of the rooms, a bunch of us ended up in, like,
in your room.
yeah, my room, a Zoom room. I'm like, here, we'll just be open all day. People can pop in and pop out. So I said, like, hopefully we've got a platform, and they confirmed that there's a platform that is extremely interactive, that we can see each other. So, which is really good that CPB Canada is not the first, because we can learn from kind of the the kinks, I guess. Let everybody else figure out the
guinea pigs.
the pros and cons. Exactly. Exactly. So I'm excited. It sounds really, really good. Yeah, I haven't seen the agenda yet, but again, not on the conference committee, but I'm really excited. I'm really pumped. So
where do we find out to get on the interest board?
You just go to the website, Ignite, whatever it is, and then you register your interest. So they'll notify you by email when there's
things that you just don't know, right? One thing I learned this month, that your CPB credits that you need to get every year are based on the day you become certified.
Yes.
Not your membership date, and not a calendar year.
No.
Never was told to me in the last 4 years.
Yeah, no, I know. And that's only because in order to maintain your certification, that's the whole reason you need your credits, not to be a member, right? So that's,
and that makes,
I didn't know that either, but it made sense.
It pointed out to me. And when I registered my certification for my bootcamp on the 22nd, it expired on the 24th. 2 days later.
But it shouldn't have, because our credit, they're good for a year.
No, because my certification is on February 24th. So I input it on February 22nd. So on February 24th, it went into my history. I actually had to call and get them to move it. And they, in consideration,
they accepted
2 days, they moved it.
Yep. It's, and I actually am, and I thought about that afterwards, because I was involved in the emails back and forth with Jeff, and I did want to, because what doesn't make sense to me is, even under the new site, and again, it's something I'm going to ask about down the road, is it shows, it drops off after the year. So if I look now, I can see and I can count the ones I've had. So I think mine is up in like March or whatever, but I can look at the last 12 months. The last 12 months say they're still active. So that is rolling. Whereas if they actually don't count that, if there's like, oh no, you can only count things up to this date or from this date forward, like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I wanted to have a conversation.
That hasn't been explained to me, that it's a rolling thing. I know Lynn
but it's
talked
not
about a
supposed
rolling
to be.
thing, but
I always thought it was rolling, just simply because that's the way the website is. The new website is that, and if that's not the way it is, then that should be.
No, because it went into my history, per se, because basically as of February 24th, I'm working on the next year. So the fact that I put it in 2 days prior, it went into my history and not into my current.
But it should go based on your expire. Like, there's a 1 year from the date of.
But
mine went in that way.
Credits before for this coming year, it wasn't going to apply because it was part of before. And that's why I said, no. For 2 days, Jeff?
Yeah, you're going to make that happen.
I'm sorry. I thought it was a calendar year. So I'm in February. I'm good.
I'm sure they'll
to my,
working out kinks.
Yeah.
Well, and it almost sounds like a bit of an administrative nightmare if everybody's renewal date is different.
To me,
like,
sounds,
if you get 40,000 members all of a sudden, it's like, okay, we're going to have X number of people on every one of the 365 days of the year.
Yeah, but it has to be individual.
January 1st, and then you're on a calendar year.
Well, now, correct me if I'm wrong here, Kathy. You're a CPA, correct?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you were. Oh,
he's got lots of other letters, but
not that.
But not those three.
So goodness, it's been a long time since I was studying to complete my, at the time, CMA, but whatever. Once you were a member, they changed it to your professional development hours to be a calendar year. Once you got that member, maybe that first year, it's like, oh, you need 10 for a calendar year. You started in June, you know, whatever. But
Exactly. And that's what, if you look at any of the healthcare professionals,
yeah,
right, they all like nurses renew at a certain time, pharmacists renew at a certain time, dietitians, et cetera, they all have to do CPE,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they are looking at what you've got on your renewal date, and it's by discipline, right? So it's exactly what you said, Stacy. If you join in June and you need 20 credits for the whole year, and they choose December 31st as the cutoff, you need 10 credits. And then the next year, from January to December, you need 20 credits. Doesn't matter what your
That
anniversary
makes
date
sense.
is.
And that's easier and that makes sense.
Well, and the thing with
Administratively, it's a lot easier.
with CPB Canada too, the difference is you can be a member or not really be certified, and there's different levels of membership without being certified. So, and they all have a different criteria to fall under. So yes, if we were all like a nurse, like we were all a CPB, then regulating that system might be a little bit easier for them to do. But because there's too many tiers and too many, you know, members without that, like it's this, it would be, I don't know.
But who's written the algorithm to make sure that everybody stays certified?
Well, they just renewed it in the last like 2 or 3 weeks. So there obviously is a big back end change that's going to be regulating everything a lot better. But there's for sure kinks right now. That's, I think, a lot of the hiccups that are happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think it had to be checked manually. And I think in the new website, there's that capability is already built in. But again, like it's only been launched a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So,
it's
The
way
new
better than
website
it
looks
was.
great, by the way. Absolutely love it.
The what?
The new website looks great.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Very
it does.
mobile
If
friendly.
you're going to look for the Ignite thing, you got to put in IPBC Ignite, not CPB Ignite.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go.
I actually just posted in Facebook chat. So in our
I found
Facebook,
it.
Facebook is the link to it for sure. So it's www.ipbcignite.com, because the reason being for that is because under the old site, there was no way they were going to do anything to the old site waiting for the new one to come up, because the new one would look better. So they did Ignite on a separate one. At this stage of the game, I don't know if they're going to amalgamate the two or not. That again is not one of the committees that I'm on, but
It's a forwarder of some they could.
yeah, and I think they're going to do it on the other one, so they very well may end up doing that on this one. But that was the original reason. The old website, they were like, no, let's like put some nice fancy stuff on this. So
yeah,
and
I did put the form in the chat too.
Meredith, if you are thinking of joining and entertaining that idea, there is a discount for being a member to register for conference.
Yes.
Usually.
Okay. I figured that.
I don't know this year, so you might want to play that in when you're doing all that.
You bet. Yeah, I
absolutely.
want to
See what they're going to charge.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's the past. I don't know what the
I gotta get.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what it is yet either. So Diane actually has a few notes or a few things that she says. You'll do great, Bianca. And then your expiry, or it's going to be amazing. I think was that the comments kind of already fallen off, but and then she also says that her expiry date is November. She started the association in January. Oh yeah, because it's still the legal name is still IPBC. But yeah, she started it in January, wrote the exam in August. So how they came up with November is like head scratching. And by the way, hey Matthew's there. He says that sucks. I'm not sure what that sucks.
Do you guys want to know what my session title is?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's called Bookkeeping in a Millennial's World.
Yay!
Right.
Oh, I'm so excited. I love working with millennials. That's who
I know, I do too.
So,
And the millennials are running the country right now, so we kind of all got to figure out how to deal with them. I'm not a millennial, but I resonate as one.
Totally.
I had young baby boomer tech parents.
Yeah.
So I'm totally more a millennial than I am a Gen Z anyway.
So am I. Love working.
Yeah.
I love that they adopt the tech pieces. I've got my older clients. I'm 44, and I've got clients who are like in their 50s. I'm like, so we can like pull up the app on your phone. You can take pictures of the receipts, and they look at me.
Are you not?
Sit down.
Are you actually not finding? And I'm going to digress a little bit. Are you not actually finding that it's some of the younger ones who are going, nope, that's it. One more app, I'm done. I can't. Like they've come almost to the point where they're at at tech overload?
No,
They play
Of
too many
course,
I
games.
love it.
I,
The one
so I
I
have
have.
I have different issues with different. I have some clients who are like, "This is amazing. I can take pictures with this. This is why didn't you give this to me years ago?" I have other ones that I am like, "Sweetheart, let's talk about how to take a picture and not cut off half of the piece of paper, please." And I'm amazed at one or two that just can't do it. I'm like, "It's a picture. It's
Maybe it's
not that."
industry specific a bit
Patient.
too. It is a bit
Maybe.
industry
Patient.
specific. Like my most of my customers are service based industries, so they're already on top of wherever all their clients are. Like there's just it's just super shoe in for them as far as technology wise. But different industries, my automotive client, they're a little harder, but totally open, but still a little bit more training involved for sure.
That's a great
Yeah.
point. I work with creatives, but they're all digital. They're all, you know,
Mhm.
copywriters or they're
Makes a big
designers or
difference.
whatever. So they work virtually. So it's just like, oh, another thing. But that's a great point, Stacy. I've never thought about that.
Yeah, we've been doing. My husband's in the IT stuff, and he'll come and he'll talk to me, and then usually what happens is after about 20 minutes, all I hear is wow, 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 wow. But one of the things that he has said, right? One of the things that he has said is that people have come to that point of having tech overload. It's like, oh, you need me to learn one more app or one more, like it's too much. I know how to do this and I get this done. And in surprisingly, it's not necessarily the older generation, it's actually some of the younger generation. Like even my kids, my son's in high school, he's like, I know this, I know this, I know this, and he's not necessarily interested in learning one more app for the sake of learning an app, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
That's true.
it's I think more of the kind of millennial mindset, if you will. They just want to efficientize everything in their life. And if they get to a point where they feel like they have too many apps, then they find an app to simplify how to deal with all those apps. And
Yep.
it's a rabbit hole, but guess what? It's all available. There's things there to even streamline the volume and the quantity of apps you have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all there. You just have to be willing to be open to it.
I was seeing an advertisement recently for something. It was something I was looking up, and it was like one app to replace them all was actually their slogan. And again, husband, whatever, he's like, that's a stupid that's the stupid thing. The reference is actually an evil reference and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh. And then I started in my head just going, do 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 do. Just wait till he's done. It's all good.
So maybe your son's more like you.
Maybe.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So just to jump back, comments, Matthew, it was that the credits were lost after 2 days. That's
Oh,
what he said. That
Oh
sucks.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, Matthew, that does suck because Bootcamp got her 24 credits. So yeah, 24 credits when you need 20 for a year. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, mind you, you still probably get it with all the conferences and stuff, but still, it's the point,
No,
right?
what conferences this year? Right? Like it.
Well, there
Anyways,
was
it didn't matter because they did move it to the next year. And when I did put in the rest of the other things that I had to go and find to blah, 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 I would have been fine anyways without it. But it just, to me, it was
the point.
it was a point. It's
Yeah.
2
I
days.
get it.
I'm
I
sorry.
get it.
Mm. And I was
Yeah.
not aware of that being the cutoff. I
would
thought
have
it was
had a
calendar
stink
year.
too.
Well, okay. I assumed it was a calendar year. Nowhere's in anywhere does it specify that it's based on your certification date. Although that makes sense.
See, and I again thought it was
They've
based
never
on.
said anything like that.
See, I
It
thought it was
doesn't
based
say-
on the expiry date of the credit. So if your credit expired, so like when did they expire?
Go look at the new website. It
Well,
came
I'm
up.
on, yeah, because I'm on the new website. I pulled it up.
Yeah.
So if I've got one here that I put in June 9th of 2020, and that should be good for a year. So if I renew in March, that still should be like to carry through. That's the way that I've always read the way the site is. Because when I look at it here, I can see anything within the last 12 months is on my current CPB development. Anything past 12 months, so I've got something that was July 16th of 2019 has now archived. and I've got something that was September of 2019 that is not yet archived because that is still current. So when I look at this, I'm looking going, I've got 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I've got 27 right now, or 26 and a half, whatever, that's sitting there in my current. And so, like I say, when it hits a year, it falls off. So that's the impression I was always under. So I am going to be talking to Jeff and just clarifying.
See,
For sure,
this
because-
is that I can't even figure out where to find that again.
If you go into, so sign in, and then I went under my profile, so member zone, and then down to my profile, and then I just click the certification tab.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and it tells me my total development points are 26 and a half out of 20. So I'm good. So that's rolling.
But
As far as I'm
if I look at it right now, it says my CPB maintenance is in progress at 15%. But those 24 credits, if they're in this new year, well, they must have not moved it yet because
Yeah, because that's over 100%. You only need 20. That gives you 24.
Well, now how would they be able to do a rolling credit? So at any given point in time, you have to have 20 hours, and then if
based on when your certification is due.
See, it's
how
still
many
in my
do you
main
have
history.
that haven't expired based on your certification renewal date?
Well, that's it. And Carol, what was the day on those ones? That was February of this year, right?
February 21st.
So her expiry date on those was February 21st of 2021.
Yeah,
So
but
they
it's in my
should have
maintenance history. It's in
Yeah.
my maintenance history. It's still sitting in there. So when I look up here at my CPB maintenance, where what I got to get, I'm at 3 of 20, 15%.
Now, what about the expiry date though? Did you put in the proper expiry date when you entered them? Because the expiry date is a year and it says right on the certificate.
It does, yeah.
Well, I
Because
resent them
that's what they told
everything.
me. I had to send them the certificate for approval and say, okay, this is it. Is this how you want me? And they came back and they said, no, put this and this and this on it. And then finally,
Okay.
said,
They must not have updated it because there was about 5 or 6 things that I just emailed him like 2 weeks ago, and none of those are in here yet. So
Okay.
they must not have updated them yet. But yeah, no,
Like that's, I'm
I
just
honestly
wondering
cannot
when you
remember
entered
how
it.
I entered it, but it says on the date where it says date, it says February 21st, 2020.
So when you go to submit, because I know under the old system, I haven't submitted under the new, it used to be, what is the expiry date? And I always put the expiry date. So here under the new ones, it said completed date.
Yeah, well, it was under the old one that I put it in. So it would have been whenever I got it.
So I wonder if maybe you just put the wrong year. Maybe you put that it expired
But I
February.
sent them the certificate, so they should still be able to see it.
Well, they don't audit unless it's like a random audit. They just trust what you put in though.
No, but they were reviewing it to decide whether they were going to move it, and they
then they'll
for
fix
the
it.
2 days, but they still haven't moved it. So I'll
Yeah.
have to email Jeff and ask him again.
Yeah. They're
'Cause-
probably in the weeds.
Yeah, because Diane just said, yeah, it's rolling. It's 1 year from the date on the credit, and it's definitely rolling. So right now it says I've got 26, but right now is not relevant for me because I'm not renewing right now. So when I renew, if I drop down to 18, I'm screwed. So that's why I kind of always look and go, okay, as long as I've always got over 20 at any given time, and I kind of take a look.
Well,
and
and
I'm
I
like,
always do, but yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why it's always
There's 2
Meredith.
things in there that aren't in there already. My conference from December in Toronto, which was 15 credits, isn't listed there yet. And a couple other things, but anyways, I did a payroll thing in January as well.
See, I lucked out when I did my CPB, I wrote it at conference. So every year, like as long as the date is what the conference is in the same, I can put all my conference credits in before my certification ends. It's like literally on the same day or weekend or whatever it is.
nice. There we go. So Diane just mentioned maybe you didn't have enough for the previous year and that's why they did it. Like, I don't know.
Well, I had way over for the
He said
previous
that's
year. Well,
definitely rolling and it creates the
Always
expiry
for
date
more
from the
than.
date you
Yeah.
enter. So
They'll fix it.
if you put in the they'll fix it. And that's awesome. So yeah, and if not, I mean, we would just call Jeff and go, Jeff, what's going on? You know the right
I
people.
saw Sarah's leaving.
Huh?
Sarah, the marketing manager
So,
at IPBC.
sorry?
Sarah.
Sarah's leaving. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
so for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah's resigned. She's I guess like she came in, a big part of her job was to get the social media all set up and do the website. And now that it's launched, I don't know. I haven't spoken to her directly, but yeah, I mean, I know she's on to more new challenges. So that'll be sad. So, 'cause she's done a great job.
She had a big piece of pie to chew while she was there.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, so Diane Mueller is saying probably to a Bianca Mueller as well to upload them right away.
Mine are all. I'm good. I uploaded. I'm at like 27 right now.
Oh, I thought you said that you waited until just before to upload them all.
No. Just every year on my renewal date, I always know I'm good because I can add in my conference sessions to account into my renewal. So I'm always my dates are lined up.
And that was just for maybe a Carol or anybody listening. And I do that. I put them in right away, but I know a lot of people that wait and go and enter a bunch of all at once. If I don't do it right away, it won't get done. And that's just the way that I am with my books. I look after everybody else's first. So if I don't spend 5 minutes a day doing my own bookkeeping and updating my bank feeds and my receipt bank and all of that stuff, my books will not get done. Yeah, that was for you, Carol.
Wouldn't it be nice if like
receipt bank says enter them right away?
Wouldn't it be nice if it was like receipt bank where you could just email it and then it would just auto read and it would just be there?
That would be beautiful.
That would work. So what you're saying, Bianca, is I should challenge the test around conference time.
Yeah.
So do it just before or just after?
Just after. Well, then you won't get the discount, but yeah, it ends up working out because then you can use all your session credits from conference and make sure if you're short a couple at the end of every year, then you're good because you have conference to add.
Okay, and then QuickBooks, QB Connect down in San Jose counts as well, right?
Yep.
As long as there is one.
Okay. Well, yeah, when they come up again, because
virtual.
any chance I have to go down to California, I'll take, and if I can.
Well, it's not going to be called QuickBooks San Jose anymore if it's virtual.
Yeah, I know. Eventually, fingers crossed one day.
I hope they keep that border closed to the end of the year.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah,
Hey.
Absolutely. So, and then there will be a Toronto, it'll probably have a Toronto one online. So whether they do just have the great big San Jose online, or, if that's not online, then, I don't know if they'll do both, or like if they would do, Toronto online right after. They still might because it's Canadian content.
Exactly.
Were any of you guys affected by the huge layoffs, like with any of your reps or people you deal with at QuickBooks?
No.
Well, we know that Allison Ball, who started the TWN down in the States. So she's excited to see what's coming next. Yeah. Her last day was a couple of weeks ago. And then the only other person that I just found out today, and so there has been some Canadian, nobody that I've actually had any direct contact with, but Shannon Patterson. So anybody who does any of the help, I guess not necessarily the beta testing, but kind of helping them work on the products. Shannon, her contract is coming up. She was on contract, so that's coming up. I think I heard it was like next week. So Shannon, if you're watching, I will definitely miss you, and hopefully there's still time for them to renew it. So Shannon's been the one that she's been working on work papers. She's been working on, which by the way, follow up to work papers. Work papers in the US is called Prep for Taxes, and does not currently have the same features that we saw on, it wasn't here, it was on the accountant and bookkeeper connection series anyway. But if anybody's wondering, that if anybody was on there, then they will be rolling out, I think it's sometime this summer, it'll have the same features. But yeah, so Shannon's been working on that. She's been working on the ProTax side to try to get customizable letters. So anybody, again, using ProTax, I found out today that should be in August is going to be another great big release coming, and that's looking good. I've been playing with that the last couple of weeks.
And some ProTax stuff or something where we can get a subscription or
Some good
I would do-
ProTax stuff. Some good, yeah, the ProTax stuff.
or so yeah, I only or profile. I filled out that survey. I only do a few tax returns a year. I don't, and I can't see that
Okay.
coming
use tax
I
back.
can't see that increasing that much. I usually refer people to
Well-
CPAs, but I don't know. It's really
ProTax gives you 7 that you can print or file, 7 for free. I didn't know that.
I couldn't file when I was using it. I went to go
Really?
file and then they wanted me to buy it.
How long ago?
Just a couple months ago in May.
Really? Let
Yeah.
me email Shankar on that and ask him about that. Because he's actually, because I've been working with that team probably 5 years, even though ProTax has, only been out a few years. They've been working on it in the back end a long time. And I've been working with them because I, at the point, did, over 600 T1s a year. And absolutely was like, no, we need, I need to have a say in this when it gets to the T1s. So, yes, I've been working with them in the background.
Yeah,
for
it's
quite some time.
I can see, I say I only do a few. I'll probably end up, maybe I'll do more. Maybe I'll hire someone to help me with that piece. I just don't enjoy it. It's not my favorite. So if I do more, I've used Profile in the past. I like Profile in the past, and I can see it totally being worth the subscription. But when we just need a couple, it'd be nice to just buy, just buy a couple.
Yeah, so I know Profile, you can buy a single file license, which is $42.
I couldn't find that. No, what it was I was talking to the rep I talked to, and then he had someone call me from Intuit, and you know what? I never called them back. So if I called them back, maybe I would have found that out.
Or just ask me.
But maybe what I would really like is for just what I really want. I really love Mahmood is my fellow, that sounds terrible, is the fellow, my rep.
Yeah.
And he's wonderful. Love him. Sometimes, actually all the time, I want the information in an email. I don't want to have to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't sign up with Intuit because I didn't want to get on the phone. I want to read. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't have a lot of time, and I just want all the details. So it would be nice for someone to say, here's all the details for Profile and how you can purchase it. That I would.
And I'm like you. I prefer to email sometimes because I'm too busy during the day.
Totally.
I want to talk to you. I sell it to you.
I'm one of those people that will send you an email at midnight, but I do not ever expect a response. That's just when I have time to send it. And if anybody dares to get back to me on an evening or a weekend, I'm like, don't, please. I know you're not working. I'm not expecting a response. I just don't have any other time to craft it and send it, right? But I'm the same thing. And so whenever they give me a new rep, and I finally said, I just want a BDM. I don't want these reps that call me. I just want a BDM. Let me know, and it'll be like, hey, here's my email. And same thing at my bank. I just said to them, just let's email back and forth. I don't want to have to call. I don't want to have to anything. I'm fine for email. This, if I need to call, I'll tell you this. Otherwise, please feel free to email me. And that's it. We do. We just email the stuff back and forth, and boom, it's done.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
I get it.
So the funny part, and Meredith, your story reminded me of this, is when I first started, I kind of stumbled into QBOA. I just oh, you want me to help you with your books? No problem. Oh, it looks like you can send me an invitation. And then suddenly I'm a QBOA advisor, and it happened. And so I've opened up my business. I've been around for, I don't know, 6 weeks, maybe. I have 5 or 6 clients. I get a phone call from I keep calling him my sales dude, but the QBOA rep. And he phones me up and he goes hey, I'm new to your territory, just phoning around to different people. Because I see you've signed up 3 or 4 people. This is amazing. And I'm like, who are you? Why are you seeing stuff? You shouldn't be seeing stuff like this. This is all private. And who are you? And I was so paranoid as to who it was that I was talking to. I didn't trust the person who was phoning me. Yeah. So he had to phone 3 or 4 times before I realized, oh, it's a sales dude. And then it took me a couple more months before I'm like, oh, you're actually expecting me to sell this QBO to other people. No, I just do books, right? But it took forever. And what was really too bad is it took forever for me to finally figure out what I was talking about, who I was talking to. And then I finally realized that I liked him. I actually liked him. Oh, I have a problem. Now I have somebody I can call because that's what I want. I want one phone number. Don't give me a 1-800 number. I want the guy that can fix stuff, right? The 1-800 number for those other chumps that can wait on the phone. So
That's why I was so ticked when they took our elite.
God, it's Friday.
right?
I know. I don't even want a 1-800 number. I want to be able to book an appointment to somebody to call me when I want them to call me, and
Yes,
to pick who I want to talk to.
that's
So-
right.
So I finally figured out that I liked him when they either promoted him or changed a different job, and now I have a new sales dude.
Yep. Oh, I've been
And I'm
through
like-
like 5 or 6 of them.
Oh yeah, every 6 months. And the second sales dude, I'm like, well, I don't like you, and it took me a long time to finally sort of get used to him. And I still didn't really particularly like him because the first guy was so good. The second guy just couldn't
Set the bar high.
get up. So so then the second guy ended up moving on to a new job, and they gave me the third guy. And I loved him. Absolutely positively loved him.
That's
and-
so past tense.
Yep. And they moved him on. I think it was like 3 days before conference last year in Toronto. And I'm like, there's another new guy. So I'm in Toronto. Okay, I'm going to come up and I'm going to meet you. I'm determined that I'm going to try to like you people. The quietest guy. I'm like, hi, I'm Stacy, and I put my hand out, and I'm nice to meet you, and this is who I am, and you should like me. Oh, hi, I'm Bob. It's like, come on.
Yeah, like a weak handshake too.
Oh,
I've lost track of how many I've had. I am at almost 20.
well, I've
So
I've
you're
had
pretty
some-
good
I've
at
changed-
one
I've
for over a
changed, like-
year.
See,
I've-
I've changed like 5 or 6 over, and I'm like, I didn't even talk to the last 4. Like, I'm
Right?
like, this is good.
So
So,
I've-
but the funny thing is like, I try not to get snarky. I think I got snarky with like one of them because they were calling me and they were talking to me like I was like a brand new person to it or something. And I'm like, I think this was like literally right after I just won the firm of the future. And I'm like, you don't need to sell to me. I'm good. Like,
Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Don't they know who you are?
Like, I just won your company's biggest contest. Like, seriously, for global. Like, seriously. Like,
Is there nothing in their notes, their client notes, that says
something. I mean, like, but it's funny. He was giving me the sales speech. Like, I really, truly didn't know. So then, but it just kind of, I was in the wrong moment at the wrong time because I'm usually not like that mean or like if they have a job, give them a break. But I finally said, listen, just give me a BDM because, I get that they have sales quotas. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to be sold to. If I want to find out about what the latest deal is on a package of, QBO files, I will reach out. So a BDM, so what I found out the difference is an IAM, which is an Intuit account manager, they would have all of us, right? They just have, the small firms, the whatever, try to help us grow the business by selling the QBO shelf files and whatnot when the packages come up and trying to help us work on that. But they have sales quotas. The BDMs do not have a sales quota as tight because they're working with, 25 plus employee firms. So therefore, it's kind like they don't have to worry about trying to get me to do a sale because I keep telling all of them, if I need you, I know where to find you. Just give me your email. I'll file it away. If I need you, I'll know where to find you. If you don't hear from me, move on to other people. Don't waste your time with me. Like, but so they finally gave me a BDM because I'm like, again, like I'm done with this.
I should ask for that because, well, I'll wait until somebody I like because
Well,
my
then what you have to
conclusion
do
to all
is
of this.
drop, because I'm sure I only got a BDM because of who I am.
No. Well, and
the right people to call. And I'm sure that somebody probably did a favor and went into the back end and just kind of like didn't ask for permission and just like reassigned me somewhere. I'm sure of it.
My thing is, and I keep saying, well, somebody I didn't like. I'm sure they're very good at their job, but their personality didn't quite mesh with what met my expectations. So I'm sure they're very good, but just, and I think it was before I got to the third sales dude, before I happened to be at I don't know, roadshow, something. And one of the fellows said, "Oh yeah, you're a salesperson." Cause I'm like, oh, stop selling me stuff. Like, I'm like you, if I need it, I know where to go. Right. And it wasn't until he goes, "Oh yeah, we can help you with marketing." I'm sorry, what? Like, how come none of these guys ever mentioned that, oh,
And
we
there's
can help
marketing
you with
packages.
that?
They help you with a live bookkeeper too.
And like I said, this last guy,
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
Oh God, yeah.
this current guy that I have, I'm like,
Thank God he's
It'll
not here
create
to
more
do that.
customers for us down the road. Don't worry about it.
oh,
Yep.
this current guy I have, I'm sure he's fine. He's just really quiet. And I'm going, but that's not what I need. I kind of need the mover and shaker and the,
Mhm.
can you help me with marketing? No.
And I want the marketing guy.
Yeah. Oh, it was
Yeah.
just, I've come to the conclusion that if I'm not meshing well with my current dude, I just wait 10 minutes. There'll be a new one.
That's what I
Do-
did. It's like living, it's like living in Calgary. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll change.
That's
Right.
right.
That's right. Alberta weather.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Just don't plan your holidays the last 2 weeks of August because that's when it's
No.
rainy and it's always raining.
Always. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, the last week in August, you're already like winter's already starting at night anyway in Alberta. Yeah, heat gets turned off, June 1st or July 1st gets turned back on July 15th.
There's
So-
a reason we lived there for 4 years and then moved back to the coast. I'll take rain for months any day. I never want to drive down that Deerfoot with a baby in the back of my car with 2 feet of snow and semis flying past me. I never want to do that again, ever. Well, I'll never do that again with a baby, touch wood. But
I worked
what?
I worked at 32nd in Deerfoot, and the window that my desk was right past literally looked right out to that highway spot. And we sat there one day, literally, and anybody who's lived in Alberta will understand this. Anybody who hasn't will not believe me. Literally, one day, just boom, a great big ass pothole showed up overnight.
Oh,
To
yeah.
the point where
Yeah.
we're like, how many cars, like there was tow trucks just sitting there waiting. And it took until the next day for them to finally get the pylons around it. But we were like, how many people are just going to like drive right through? And it was a big one. It literally, your car would go in, you needed a tow truck to get it, like, because you couldn't like drive out. One wheel would go down and it was so deep that like it would catch the frame. And
That's
it was
why Albertans drive big ass trucks with big ass wheels.
It's true. There's a reason for it. And when we know we don't even have to look at the license plates when they're over here on the island because there's lots of Albertans here. And it's like, oh yeah, we know that
There
big
goes
truck.
another one.
It's like,
You're right. A big ass truck with big ass wheels would be able to just get out of there and just keep going.
Seriously,
Absolutely.
are you people trying to talk potholes with somebody from Winnipeg?
Yeah.
Like,
That's true. You probably got it worse than we do, Stacey.
I've never been to Winnipeg, so I
Yeah.
can't speak for the potholes there.
we have a bad reputation for potholes because of our freeze thaw cycle, right?
Mhm.
We get a little hole, you put some water in it, and then overnight it freezes. Boom, we've got a bigger hole. We've lost cars, like not
Oh
just the
wow!
back
So
end.
it's exactly what Alberta, exactly the same thing that Alberta is then. Yeah.
I have, if you don't mind me changing the subject from potholes, I have an
We've gone
actual,
over two, by the way, but
I have an actual question about QBO and bank feeds, or
Okay.
specifically the banks. Does anybody have a QBO file, don't care if it's yours or clients, that is actually connected to Bank of Montreal?
no.
Been a lot of chatter about
See,
this.
you do.
I've heard
Mine's a
there's been
credit card.
evidence-
What?
I have a BMO credit card attached.
And they
You
were
actually
able to
have it
attach that.
attached?
Yeah, it works fine.
Not
I've
the
heard
one.
there's been issues. I'm looking right now for my BMO client. We've got one for sure that I know for sure, and I'm looking him up right now. But I have heard that there are issues with BMO.
Scotiabank has issues too.
So I think
Those
my
are
mom,
Capital.
my mom has BMO, like personally, and she actually got all of her banking compromised somehow. They seized all her access to all her accounts because of the login attempts that were happening through the software, and it took her a long time to even get her own bank access back.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's that whole, like, I don't know how it logs in.
The API.
And
Yeah.
Coast
Yeah.
Capital
Log
has
in.
had some major problems because, and that's credit union over here on the coast. I think it's now national, or it is national. We're getting there. And they had a bunch of stuff compromised. So suddenly I couldn't get the bank feeds there, and then they changed some other stuff. So it's been a pain in the butt.
But
So
she couldn't even regain access to her own bank
Oh,
accounts for like days.
Crazy.
Oh, it's horrible.
Well, Vance, you can do the bank feed, but you can't do the credit card to get it uploaded automatically. It's like, come on.
And so, sorry. So BMO, Mike, I just checked my client and I just didn't update. That one's still connected. We've been lucky, I better knock on wood, that we have not been one of the ones that have the BMO effect, but Scotia is working again, Carol, because I'm with Scotia and I knew, and I actually got a little perturbed because I reported it on Saturdays because Scotia changed their update. I'm in my bank every single day to do something. So I logged in and I'm like, oh, great. There's a new way to sign in. I bet you the API is going to drop, or I went in and sure enough, it couldn't connect. So I'm like, okay. So then that was, I think Sunday morning. I called Monday through to QuickBooks because I had to call about something else. This is right after a morning meeting. So this is before 10 o'clock in the morning on the Monday. And I said, I'm calling for 2 reasons. First, I've got this, this client that we're going to get into. You need to know is that you should tell people Scotiabank has changed their sign-in process. They've completely updated it. So your API is down. And, a lot of people are going to be affected. All of a sudden, Wednesday, I happen to see somebody say, we've just been aware. I'm like, no, I called 2 days ago. So you might want to look up and see who I talked to and find out why they didn't report it up 2 days ago.
well, so I have this one client, they're BMO. I've asked them many times for the last number of months to do it. He's very non-technical savvy, and so this was even a stretch for him. But he finally got a hold of their account manager, because I'm like, talk to the account manager, get whatever you need to get going. And her answer is, in most cases, QuickBooks does not connect to online business banking. And I'm like, I call BS on this. We're getting a new account manager.
Online
and
program.
Line up.
And so that's why I was wondering, I'm like, maybe before I start yelling at the account manager, maybe other people have had this.
He
and
may
go,
have automatically thought of desktop.
oh, maybe.
Maybe, but
Yeah,
there
so we have that challenge with RBC and Sage, right? Is that Sage doesn't pull that business version of RBC.
Mm-hmm.
Really? My client, I have Sage 50 or Sage Accounting.
No, Sage 50.
Oh yeah, okay. I use it for Sage Business.
That's fine, Meredith.
Yeah, but it's RBC business is not the same as the RBC regular, and Sage 50 only pulls on RBC regular, not RBC business. I'm like, you're a business software. Like, why don't you pull all of them?
Mhm.
Right? And that could be the same thing with QBO, right? Because I know there is a problem with the credit unions. My son is looking at changing banks, and I'm like, okay, let's just be really careful about BC and credit unions, because I hear terrible stories out of BC and credit unions.
I love it. And if it's a credit union like Envision, who has their MasterCard, which is part of I can't think of the name.
MasterCard is like a debit card?
No, it's MasterCard, but it's through
Capital One?
No. It's a third
Like the
party.
Calabria?
Yes, that's what it is. They have emphatically said, no, we will not play ball with QBO. Not going to happen.
Love it.
Calabria doesn't even
has Envision, and so I have his bank accounts, but the credit card is not as connected.
Calabria does suck because I'm with Blue Shore, my personal financing, and we have Calabria because of the house mortgage and stuff. And yeah, it doesn't even barely connect to their own website.
No.
Internally, the Coast, even though it's oh my god.
No, they don't. You have to.
Yeah,
I used
it's
to work
stupid.
for Coast Capital, and it's been the same since I started working with them in 2006. You still have to go to an external website, and one of my clients has Calabria, and it's like, oh god, now I have to go log in, and it's like so much work to do it. And anyway, it's.
I gotta bounce, you guys. I gotta make some phone calls, but thank you.
Yep. And I have to actually run to an appointment, an appointment. So yeah, it was great. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
That's great. Thanks, guys.
Bye.